Welcome to our Aon webinar for international students. We're going to inform you about the Aon Complete Plus insurance for international students in the Netherlands who are going to do an internship or an international study here at one of our universities or universities of applied sciences. To give you a clue on why it's important to have an insurance when you're studying abroad, we're going to start with a short video.
Are you coming to the Netherlands to study or do an internship? An exciting time in which you'll get to experience new perspectives and cultures, spend time with the locals, and get immersed into their way of living. But what if something less exciting happens, like getting sick? But aside from getting sick, there are other bad things which could happen. The Aon student insurance is for non-EU and EU or EEA students. Mind you, if you're an EU or EEA student and you have a European health insurance card, before going to the Netherlands, check how and for how long you'll be insured in the country. If you're an EU or EEA student, we'd advise you to get additional or full insurance, depending on your circumstances. You can find out more about this on our website. If you get a part-time job or paid internship, that also changes things. You'll be expected to adjust your own insurance to ensure that it matches your new situation. Arrange everything beforehand so you can leave for your studies or internship without any worries. The advice module on our website will tell you everything you need to know for your own personal situation. If you have any more questions, please take a look at our website. You can also reach us by telephone, email, chat, or see our FAQ.
Well, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the short video and it gave you an impression on what an international student insurance is and why it's important to have here in the Netherlands. First of all, I would like to welcome everybody from around the world and in the Netherlands to this webinar about the Aon student insurance for international students. My name is Arti Pancham and I'm going to inform you with this presentation about the Complete Plus insurance for international students, non-EU students. If you guys have questions, you can ask them in the comment box. At the end of this presentation, we will try to answer all your questions live, or I will try to do that because of the time. And if there are a lot of questions and it's not possible, you guys can always go to our website where we have a chat available. And of course, you can email us and send us or give us a call. That's also possible. Well, I will start with the presentation right now. First, I'm going to inform you guys about Aon. Who is Aon and what do we do? Aon is a partner of many universities here in the Netherlands and universities of applied sciences, as well in the Netherlands as internationally. We are an international advisor in risk management and an insurance broker, and we have 500 offices worldwide, 50,000 employees, and here in the Netherlands we have 13 offices, and our headquarters is based in Rotterdam, where I am right now with our student team. If you guys have questions or you would like to know something, you can always go to our website or contact us. We have a multilingual client services team who can answer all of your questions in several languages. About the Aon student insurance. The Aon student insurance you guys have or are going to purchase is our premium package. The university you're studying at wants you guys to be insured properly, and that means that they have taken out our premium coverage for you guys. That means that there's a medical coverage, and because of it's a package insurance, it's not only medical, but it's also other coverages, which I will elaborate on later on in this presentation. But I would like to stress that the medical coverage you guys have or are going to purchase with us is including pre-existing conditions. That means that if you have something that you need consults for, like, you have migraines and you need to go to the doctor for a regular consult, or you need to have medicine for that, that is covered by our insurance, which is really special because this is a private insurance. International students here in the Netherlands cannot take out the mandatory governmental insurance we have here in the Netherlands. Since you are international students, you can only take out a private insurance, and that's the Aon student insurance. So a very special coverage with regard to the medical and including pre-existing conditions. Apart from the medical coverage, the insurance has a worldwide coverage, which means that if you are going to travel or you're going to do an internship as part of your studies, you are covered as well. You don't have to change your insurance. It is for international students only, so international students studying or doing an internship in the Netherlands. Of course, if there is an emergency, you guys can contact us 24/7 through our emergency assistance number, which you can contact, during the night, during the evening, and also, of course, during the weekend. As I said, your university wants their students to be insured properly. That's why they've taken out the Complete Plus insurance with us for international students. That means a coverage for pre-existing conditions, as I already mentioned, including short-term psychological consults. The insurance has no deductibles and is fully compliant with visa regulations. So all insurances you purchase need to have these minimum requirements set by your university. And since we are a partner of your university, they recommend you to take out our insurance. The insurance situation in the Netherlands can be quite difficult to understand for students who come from abroad because it's based on your individual situation and it changes once you are going to have a part-time job. But let's start first. You guys are either already in the Netherlands or you guys are still in your home country and when possible are traveling into the Netherlands. If you are a non-EU student, then there's only one possibility. If you are studying here, you need to take out the Aon Complete Plus insurance. For EU EEA students without an European health insurance card, also the Complete Plus insurance, and for EU and EEA students with an EHIC card, those students can take out the additional coverage we have. However, I will focus this presentation on the Complete Plus insurance for non-EU students, and if there are any EU or EEA students in this presentation, I will focus on them if they don't have an EHIC card. And if you are going to work here in the Netherlands, guys, make sure you change your insurance because by law, it is mandatory that you take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, and that applies to both EU students, EEA students, and non-EU students. Once you are going to work here in the Netherlands and you are going to earn a salary for which you pay taxes, it's mandatory to have a Dutch basic healthcare insurance, which of course you can purchase through our website as well. The same goes when you are going to do an internship here in the Netherlands and you are going to earn more than the Dutch minimum wage, then you also by law are required to take out the mandatory Dutch basic healthcare insurance. I will elaborate on both subjects later on in this presentation, but please focus on the fact that if you don't apply by the rules, things can get very dire and you will receive a fine. But again, I will elaborate on that later on in this presentation. Why is it important to have an insurance when you're going to study or do an internship abroad? Well, we are living in an era which is changing rapidly and where everything is happening. We've had the Hong Kong riots, we've had the Australian bushfires, and now we are in the COVID-19 era. We've seen over the past months, especially in the months of March and April, that there were many students who were properly insured and had our insurance, but still there were some students who came to the Netherlands to study and who were advised to take out an insurance but didn't do that, or were not sufficiently insured and ran into difficulties when COVID-19 was here amongst us. Healthcare costs are very expensive here in the Netherlands. So if something happens to you and you have no insurance, then you will have to pay for that yourself. And to give you an indication, if you need to go to a specialist, and you have a consult with him or her, the costs for that can be between, 70 euros and 100 euros. And if you don't have an insurance, that means you will have to pay for all the costs yourself. There is no organization or no government who is going to pay those costs for you. But apart from the health costs, as I said, it's a package insurance you're purchasing with us. If you cause damage and you have no insurance, you will have to pay the damage out of your own pocket. You accidentally bump into somebody, you break something of another person. Well, if that person holds you liable for that, you will have to pay for that. If there's a theft in your room or your apartment, there is no insurance. It means, well, nothing is going to be reimbursed, and you will have to replace everything yourself without any reimbursement from an insurance. And of course, you guys, especially the non-EU students who are in this presentation, come from countries far away from here. In our insurance, we also have a repatriation coverage, which means that if there's a death or a life-threatening situation or an illness with family in the first or second degree, first or second degree is father, mother, brother, sister, grandparents, and you need to go back home immediately, you can contact us and we will pay for that. We will pay for your ticket or your train ticket if necessary. And by calling our emergency number, they will make arrangements for you. If you don't have an insurance, however, you will have to pay those costs yourself and you will have to make all the arrangements yourself. The other way around works as well. If there's a life-threatening situation with one of you guys and you have our insurance and it's necessary for your family in the first or second degree to come over, we will make the arrangements, we will pay for the ticket, and we will also provide them with accommodation costs. So it's an insurance that is, designed especially for international students and their needs in another country. And last but not least, we advise you to take out the insurance for the whole period that you are studying here. Because we also have the experience that some students take out the insurance for, let's say, 6 months and then extend the insurance, but in some cases they forget to extend the insurance and then something happens and then they are not insured. So if you're going to study here in the Netherlands for 2 or 4 years or for a year, take out the insurance for the whole period. Don't worry, you don't have to pay the premium at once. You can pay monthly with us. You can pay by e-invoice and by credit card. And with all those payments, you can do monthly. So also by credit card, you can pay monthly. I can imagine that a lot of you may have questions about the coverage of COVID-19. because that is something that is in the news right now. COVID-19 is amongst us in this world, and I can tell you guys, if you have our insurance and you have the complete plus coverage, you are fully covered for COVID-19. So if you are here in the Netherlands and you get infected with COVID-19 and you need to go to the doctor or you are admitted to the hospital, your insurance will cover that. So no worries there. Also covered is medical repatriation. That's not only covered for COVID-19, but in all cases. To give you an example, if someone is infected with COVID-19 and has the Aon Complete Plus insurance and needs to go to a hospital and there's not a hospital bed available and needs to be transported to another country, for instance, and there are costs involved, we will pay for that. So you will be reimbursed, or we can deal with the hospital or healthcare taker directly. So no worries there. Of course, in case of repatriation, again, if there's a life-threatening situation, coverage, family in first or second degree, if there's a serious illness, if you are ill as a result of COVID-19 and there's a life-threatening situation and your family needs to come here, that's also covered. And lastly, repatriation of insured persons remains to their home country. Unfortunately, it does still happen that a student perishes here and that their remains need to be transported to their home country. You may think, well, what kind of coverage is that? But I can tell you guys, to make arrangements for that and to get a body back to somebody's home country, there are a lot of costs involved with that, and that can between 10,000 and 15,000 euros. So a lot of money when you're not insured and if your family members have to pay for that. But if you have the Complete Plus insurance, you are all covered for that. Well, what does the package of the Aon student insurance consist of? The Aon Complete Plus insurance I will focus on, of course, because that's what the presentation is about. All medical expenses are covered, which means doctor's fees, hospitalization, physiotherapy, if you need to have tests or x-rays, if it's medically necessary and if it's on referral of a doctor, then it's fully covered. So there are no hidden costs. We reimburse you for the actual costs. Then there's also an urgent dental treatment for 350 euros per year. With urgent dental treatment, there's a maximum coverage, whereas as for the medical expenses, there is no maximum coverage. Those are the actual actual costs. Urgent dental treatment. What is that? Well, that's a dental treatment in case you have, an emergency toothache or there's something wrong with your teeth. And wrong means if you have, you wake up one morning, you have a terrible ache and you need to go to a dentist, you can go to that dentist and it will be covered up until 350 euros per year. Bear in mind that it's an urgent dental treatment, so regular visits to the dentist, like checkups every half a year, which we have here in the Netherlands, are not covered. Also, mouth hygienist costs are not covered. Those treatments are not considered as urgent dental treatment. Then repatriation again, of course, the coverage, I already elaborated on that and explained what it consists of. The extra travel costs for a student or an insured family who needs to come to the Netherlands in case there is a life-threatening situation with one of our students is up to 7,000 euros maximum. Then there is a liability coverage, a coverage which is quite common here in the Netherlands. Liability is a coverage which means that if you accidentally break something or harm something of another person, or you harm another person by accident, you can be held liable for that. And if you are held liable for that, in most cases there are costs for that. And with our insurance, you are covered for that. I will give you an example. You guys are probably, if you are in the Netherlands or coming to the Netherlands, are going to bike around here. And if you by accident, fall onto a car and damage the car, the owner of the car can hold you liable for that. Let's say, for instance, the paint is damaged and the car needs to be repainted. It can easily be between, €1,000 and €10,000. And if you're not insured for that, you will have to pay that yourself. A lot of money. But with the insurance, you are covered for that. As I said in the beginning, in one of the earlier slides, there's also coverage when you're going to travel during your studies, because we can imagine if you are an international student, you're coming to the Netherlands, you may want to travel in Europe and maybe even outside Europe, and travel when it's possible again, when the travel restrictions are lifted. I would love to see you guys, explore the beautiful continent of Europe. If you are here and you have the insurance, your baggage and the rest of the insurance gives you cover in another country. So no worries there, and you don't have to purchase another insurance for that. Then there is coverage for household contents, or your home content as we call it. That is if there is a flood or a fire or a burglary in your home, somebody broke in and there is evidence of breaking and entering, you have coverage under the household content cover under the Complete Plus insurance. Bear in mind that you always have to file a police report in order to receive a reimbursement. Then there's an accident coverage and then legal aid cover. Legal aid is when you, for instance, need advice from a lawyer. To give you an example, you guys are going to rent an apartment maybe, or you are renting a room, you're paying for that, and there is the plumbing is not working. You've asked the landlord to fix that, and he or she doesn't want to do that. Well, you get into a dispute. In those cases, you can contact our claims office, and they can help you with legal aid. The premium for this insurance is around it's €53.70. Depending on from the university you're from, it can differ a little bit. But if it's higher, then there is the coverage is also there's also an extra coverage. But the normal premium of this insurance is €53 per month and €1.79 per day. I always advise you to check our website or ask your international office at the university. In the beginning, I told you guys that the insurance in the Netherlands is based on your own individual situation, and we have certain rules and regulations here. And one of those rules is that when you are going to have a part-time job or a job here in the Netherlands, you are obligated by law to take out the mandatory Dutch basic healthcare insurance. The Dutch basic healthcare insurance is the insurance that all Dutch citizens have here in the Netherlands, and people who work here. If you start here as an international student, you are not allowed to take out this insurance, but once you have a part-time job, you are obliged to take out this insurance. What you will have to do is that you change the Complete Plus insurance to the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance, which you can purchase and apply for through our Aon student insurance website, and take out the additional coverage with the Start Plus, so that you have the repatriation, the liability, and all the other things covered. If you think you are not going to do that because the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance is more expensive than the Aon Student Insurance, the Basic Healthcare Insurance is around €100 per month, and the Aon Student Insurance, the whole package, is around €54 per month. Guys, don't even think about not taking out this insurance, because if you work here, you are registered by our tax office because you pay taxes. And the tax office has two organizations, governmental organizations, that work closely together with them. And those are the CAK and the SVB. And if they see that you are working and you don't have a Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance, the CAK and SVB will send you a letter. First, they will ask you to change your insurance or to take out the Basic Healthcare Insurance. And if you fail to do that, they will send you a second letter. But along with that second letter is a fine. And that fine is €400. And you will have to pay that fine. And you will have to take out the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance. If you don't do it, they will send you another letter, again for €100, and they will take out an insurance for you. And of course, that will always be the most expensive insurance there is, because they want you to have an insurance, and you need to have an insurance by law. So I would like to stress to you, please follow the rules, and once you have a part-time job and you have a contract, change the insurance, go to our website and apply online. Otherwise, spending money on fines, a lot of money, is not necessary, and you will always have to pay that fine. If you're working and you don't have the right insurance, you will have to pay the fine. So avoid that and follow the rules. Well, the same applies to an internship. If you're going to do an internship as part of your study, if you earn less than the minimum wage, then you can keep your Aon student insurance, and there's no problem. You're properly insured. However, if you're going to earn more than the Dutch minimum wage, then you need to change your insurance again to the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance. And information on the minimum wage you can find on the page. On the page of government.nl. There is information on how much somebody earns at a certain age and what the minimum wage is. The minimum wage is set every year, and I would recommend you guys to get the information either from the website, or you can contact and ask advice of your international office, or of course, even better, of your employer, your part-time employer. The healthcare system in the Netherlands, that's another one. I think for a lot of you guys, the healthcare system is different here in the Netherlands than what you're used to. Here in the Netherlands, everybody has a general practitioner, a family doctor, or a huisarts, as we call it in Dutch, whom you are subscribed to. You don't go to the hospital immediately. First, you always go to a general practitioner. So what you guys should do, if you are already here or when you're going to come here, subscribe with a general practitioner and subscribe with them, so then they are your first point of contact in case of health issues. And your university or the international office or student services office most of the time has some names for you of doctors whom you can subscribe to. And once you are subscribed and you have health issues, you know, you wake up one morning, you have a tummy ache, then you call the GP. The assistant will ask you some questions and will either make an appointment with you or will ask the GP to call you back. The general practitioner is a fully qualified doctor who, after his medicine study, specialized for several years to become a GP. So it's a normal doctor. If you are asked to come into the office of the GP will examine you and will decide on further actions. And if it's necessary that you go to a specialist for a consult, the GP will give you a referral and with that referral, you can make an appointment in the hospital. Without a referral of a GP, you cannot go to the hospital because there will be a reimbursement. Of course, you can go, but then you will have to pay it yourself. We always need a referral of a GP to go to a specialist, and then you will be reimbursed for that. The same goes for that. It's not only applicable to the Aon student insurance, but also for the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. So keep that in mind. When visiting a doctor, when you have an appointment with a doctor or with anybody here in the Netherlands, show up on time. Or if you cannot make it, give them a phone call. Because if you don't go and you don't give them a call that you cannot make it, they will charge you, and if you come late, they will probably not help you. And if they charge you and you didn't show up, you won't be reimbursed by us. So in any case, if you have an appointment somewhere, you cannot make it, give them a phone call, ask if you can come at a later time, or you can reschedule. Some of you who are in this presentation may already have the insurance because your university applied for it. Others may not have the insurance yet or are still in their home country. I recommend you guys who are still in the home country to take out the insurance and apply for the insurance before you leave home, because then you are insured during your travels as well. To apply for the insurance, you go to the aonstudentinsurance.com website, tick on the blue space, and you will come into this on this page. As I said in the beginning, an insurance is based on somebody's personal situation. So we advise you, and in order to get a right advice, you need to fill out the questions we ask you, and you will receive the right advice from us, and then you can apply for the insurance. We do everything online, so you apply online, you will receive your policy documents online in your email box, and along with the policy documents, you will receive login codes for your own personal policy map. And with the login codes, you can make changes to your insurance in your policy map, which means you can change the end date, you can change your bank account number, you can change your address, you can find all sorts of information in your policy map about the insurance. So you're always in charge of your own insurance. And of course, with if you have questions, go to our website and contact my colleagues who of course will help you. And then also very important, of course, that's why you have an insurance. If you have a claim, you went to a doctor or there's something else and you want to submit a claim, you also go online, because we do that online as well. You go to the website, click on the claims box, and it will lead you to this page. You submit your policy number, your date of birth, and the system will lead you through the claims application. Make sure you always have a copy of the original invoice, which you can upload, because we need that in order to reimburse you for the costs you already made. We always need an invoice. So without an invoice, we cannot reimburse you. And within, 5 to 10 working days, the money will be transferred to your bank account. Of course, I mentioned in the previous slides that we have an Aon Emergency Center, which you can contact 24/7. In case you are, for instance, admitted to the hospital and the hospital wants to have, a guarantee of payment, and you need to contact somebody, you can contact the emergency center and they can give you a guarantee of payment so that everything will be paid for. Or it's during the weekend and something has happened with your mother or father or somebody else in the first or second degree and you need to fly back home. Contact our Aon Emergency Center. During working hours, you can always contact our client services team and our claims team. Of course, you can send us an email, chat with us, and find lots of information on our website, aonstudentinsurance.com. I would like to thank you for your attention, and if there are any questions, I would like to answer them right now. Rob, are there any questions?
Hey, it's Rob here from the back. I'm one of the colleagues at Aon Student Insurance. I've been monitoring the comments that have been coming in through our comments section. I'm not sure we can address all the different questions that came in, but I've made a selection of some of the more relevant general questions that were submitted. So let's start with the first one.
Yeah.
One moment. Okay. So there was one question that came in, and they asked if the Aon student insurance will be valid in other countries if they travel abroad, for example, for a short holiday.
Yes, the Aon student insurance gives you worldwide coverage, and if you travel abroad during your studies, as long as you are a student and you go, let's say, to Paris or anywhere else for a short vacation, and you come back and you proceed with you are going to study again, then you are covered. No problems there.
All right, thank you. So the next question that someone submitted is actually a specific question about they're curious to learn more, for example, what kind of health costs are specifically covered in their policy, or, for example, what the home and baggage cover is of the insurance. And they're wondering where they can find more details about this.
You can find details on our website. Of course, we have the coverage written on our website, and we have our policy conditions where you can find, in detail what is covered. But to give you, a general overview, for healthcare costs, all healthcare costs relating to hospital, doctor's visits, and medicine is also covered. And medicine that is prescribed by a certified doctor and cannot be purchased without a recipe from a doctor. So, but I would suggest that if you have, specific questions, download the content of coverage or download the policy conditions where you can find everything in detail. And if you still have any questions, you can, I would suggest contact us directly.
All right, thank you. Then we go on to our next question that came in. One moment, please.
Yeah.
So someone asked. They looked at the presentation about the Dutch Basic Health Insurance, and they asked. So the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance is the same as the Aon Complete Plus insurance?
Well, the coverage of the Aon Complete Plus insurance is actually more extensive than the basic healthcare insurance is, because the basic healthcare is only healthcare, whereas the Aon Complete Plus insurance is a package insurance which includes health. And with the Aon student insurance, the Complete Plus, you also have coverage for instance, physiotherapy, which is not covered by the basic healthcare insurance, because then you need an additional coverage from the basic healthcare insurance. So those are two different coverages, which of course have similarities, but are not the same.
All right, thank you. We'll go on with our next question that came in. Let me see. So someone asked about the documentations that they need when they are applying for a visa, and where you can find the documents required for that.
Well, I know that in certain countries, before coming to the Netherlands, you need to have an insurance. You need to show that you are insured. Documents for a visa, I would suggest that you ask that at your university, because they are the ones who are applying for visas for you guys. So if you want to know what kind of documents you need to upload, then I would suggest you go to the Student Services office or the international office to apply for our insurance. However, we do not need to have a visa number or a visa. And you don't need to be registered here at the City Hall. So you can apply for the insurance in your home country. What's important is that you are going to be a student at one of the universities or universities of applied sciences here in the Netherlands.
All right, thank you. Someone else had a question about what to do when they get very sick or very ill and they actually can't go to the GP. And they also asked if an ambulance is covered in that kind of case.
Of course, I understand, yeah. Of course, we have the emergency number here in the Netherlands. That's 112 in case you have, you get into an accident or you get sick and you need to have medical attention immediately. Then you call the 112 number and they will either ask you some questions or they will send an ambulance. And of course, those costs are covered. The GP is only for, well, not only, but the GP is for things when you have, you wake up and you don't feel well and you have a tummy ache or you're having a headache for several days and you want to, want to go to a doctor to have it checked out. That's what the GP is for. But of course, in case of emergencies, you always phone the number 112. That's the national number here in the Netherlands for the ambulance or the police.
All right. One moment.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly scroll through the questions that still came in.
Yeah.
One moment. So, let's see. There is a question about mental health.
Yeah.
Does the insurance provide a cover for mental health?
Yes. Part of the medical coverage is a psychological help. If you are coming to study here and you can, study normal, but you need to have, several consults for psychological help, the costs of that are covered. So you can, after you have a referral from a GP, because again, we need a referral, although you are maybe already receiving coverage in your home country or you are having consults, we still need a referral from a GP here. And once you have that, you can make an appointment with a psychologist here in the Netherlands, and that will be covered. If you have questions about that or about a specific situation, I would advise you to contact us directly so we can help you and inform you on how it works here once you have a GP referral. But to be clear, yeah, there's coverage for psychological help.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
We have one more question that actually came in. It's a very relevant, good question.
Yeah.
It's about family members.
Yes.
So they ask if their spouse, in this case,
Yeah.
is can also be covered, and how that works.
Yeah. Yes, your partners and children who come with the students or the PhD students to the Netherlands can also take out the Aon student insurance. However, the student always needs to be insured with us before the partner or the child can apply for the insurance. And be aware of the fact that the student receives the complete plus insurance, including pre-existing conditions, and the partner and child need to take out, can only take out the complete insurance. That's the same insurance, but without pre-existing conditions. The premium is also different, whereas the student pays around 53 euros a month, the partner or child pays around 99 euros per month. But it is possible.
All right. Thank you, Arti, for this one.
Yes.
Some questions are coming in about the application side of things.
Yeah.
For example, the following one.
Yeah.
I don't have a Dutch bank account. Can I still, or can I already apply for the insurance?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Good question. Yes, you can. It's a beautiful slogan. Yes, you can. Yes, you can apply for the insurance because you can pay by credit card with us or by e-invoice. So when you apply for the insurance, you just tick off in the application process how you would like to pay. And along with the policy documents, you will receive a link from us where you can say how you wish to pay, and then after a few days you will receive more information from us. So it's not necessary to have a bank account before you come to the Netherlands. However, if you guys are going to study here, I would recommend once you're here, open a bank account, and your university will probably already help you with that, because everything is done through the bank here in the Netherlands, all payments and things like that. But initially, it's not necessary to have a bank account, so you can apply for the insurance in your home country.
All right. We have another question about the application side of things.
Yeah.
There's someone who asked, I don't have a Dutch address yet. Can I still apply? How does that work?
Yeah. That's we need to be creative here. I know that some universities allow you to use their address for a short period of time, but there are also universities who don't want you to do that. What I would suggest, if you have a friend or a fellow student who already lives in the Netherlands, ask if you can use their address. Otherwise, we just need to have an address before you can start to take out the insurance. Otherwise, if you are staying in a hotel for a short period of time, ask them if you can use that address. We won't send anything to that address because we do everything online, but we need to have, a certain, we need to know where you are going to stay. So, that's how we can help you with that. If you don't have an address and you don't have anybody who can help you, then you just need to wait until you are here in the Netherlands.
Yeah, a good addition to that is actually that you can always online, after you receive your policy, you can also always update your policy very easily online. It's done with one click on a button, and it will be processed right away. So
exactly. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. One moment. Another question that came in is a very relevant one. Someone asking if the student has to pay for the treatment at all times, and how does it work, for example, when you are in an ambulance or have a surgery or other hospitalization? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, let's start with when you go to a doctor. With most doctors, GPs, we have, a cooperation agreement that they send the invoice to us. So that you don't have to pay. In other cases, they give you an invoice, and then if you have the invoice, you can upload it and get your reimbursement, or we can pay the GP directly. And the same goes for specialist treatment. Or you pay, yourself in advance, and we reimburse you. So there are different ways of payment. When you, however, are in a hospital and you need to be admitted to the hospital, then you contact, or you let somebody contact us or the emergency number, so we can give a guarantee of payment. In most cases, the hospital contacts us because they know our insurance, and we will give them a guarantee of payment. And of course, you don't have to pay for anything. We will do that. We will settle that directly with the hospital, the healthcare provider. And in case you need an ambulance, you will always receive an invoice afterwards. And that invoice you can submit with us, and we will reimburse you for that. So it depends on to which doctor you go. If you go to a doctor we have a cooperation agreement with, and that's in most cases with doctors who work with the university. And if it's somebody whom we don't have a cooperation with, well, you either receive an invoice or you pay upfront, and you get your reimbursement from us. So there are different ways, but in any way, hospitalization and ambulances are settled directly.
All right. I think we can close the presentation with one more question.
Okay, that's good.
It's also one that came in a couple of times, and very understandable, because it's a lot of information that was provided.
Of course, yeah.
So will this video and this information and these slides be available to us after this webinar is over?
Yeah. Of course. We will send you a link to the webinar, and the presentation will also be sent to your universities. So they will have it too, and they will probably put it on the website as well, or the intranet website, where you can find information, where you can find this information. And I understand it was a lot of information you guys received from me, and might be difficult to understand, but again, you can always contact us. My colleagues are there to help you, and we have a very informative website where you can find lots of information as well. Well, Rob, thank you very much for moderating, and I would like to thank you guys for visiting this webinar. Lots of success with your study if you are anywhere in the world where you are. If you are already here in the Netherlands, a very nice time, and if you are planning to fly in later this year, lots of success, and stay safe. Thank you very much.